Hey guys, Chris Amos here. I just wanted to give a little bit of an update on the Subaru BRZ. This Thursday, I'm taking it out on a road trip down to Kentucky with a friend. We're going to be going to Mammoth Cave, doing a few other things down in the area, Corvette Museum, some hiking, and driving some really good roads. So before I went down, I wanted to do a few things to the BRZ and get it ready for the trip, as well as put on some new parts. So one thing that's been happening, you know, it has the Corsa exhaust on the car. About, I don't know, maybe about 2 months ago, there was a little bit of a buzz between 23 and 2400 RPM. And so I called Corsa and they basically hooked me up with a new muffler. Basically this piece right here, I don't know if it was a weld inside the housing that was cracked or just something that kind of had gone wrong, but they sent me a new replacement part. I just got the exhaust tips lined up to my liking, nice and flush, and the car sounds great. It actually sounds a little bit better than it had previously. Before, the exhaust had just a little bit of drone to it, which was interesting because Corsa's their signature move is no drone, you know, reflective sound canceling technology. And it still just had a little bit of drone around 73, 72 miles an hour on the highway, and you could hear some reverberation coming through the cabin, especially with the seats down. This new muffler, for some reason, has no drone. It's kind of how it should have been. So I don't know if they made any tweaks there in development after I got my early build muffler, early build exhaust system, but this is definitely an improvement. They were awesome to work with. Customer service is fantastic with Corsa. They got back to me within a day and sent something out really quickly. So I'm very happy. I also put on a set of Cosworth street pads. They have this new street pad compound, and I haven't really broken the brakes in yet, haven't done a bed in, but so far the first impressions are really, really good. They have a ton of bite, there's no squealing, and the pads just feel really good. I haven't had a nice set of pads on here in about a year. I took off the Hawk Performance Street Race pads because they were just too squealy, too much noise for the street. They did really well on track, but they were also just eating up my rotors. So I put the stock pads back on, and those are just kind of, they're not very confidence inspiring, they're not very good. I also did a transmission fluid and differential fluid, just replaced the fluid in that. I did Modal 300, you can see right here, you've got the gear oil 300, and then I did some Redline, was it this 75W90, MT90. I've been really happy with that gear oil in this car. So BRZ feels really good. I'll keep you guys updated. We're going to be doing some vlogging on the road trip, and other than that, we'll go for a little drive in the BRZ. I'll show you what the new exhaust sounds like. Thought I'd give you guys a cold start in the BRZ with the new Corsa muffler. Some mornings it's super loud, other mornings it's kind of quiet and subdued on cold start. Not really sure why, but that's the way it is. Alright, so I wanted to give you guys an example of what the exhaust sounds like on the highway. Right now I've got the rear seats down because I'm hauling a 5-foot backdrop for my headshot session this afternoon. But I wanted to do some highway cruising at 70 miles an hour, at 75, and at 65. So let's start off, just kind of slow down a little bit at 65. Exhaust is virtually quiet. There's no drone. You can just hear a little bit of a tone, and of course a lot of road noise because the back seats are down. Let's bump it up to 70, 3,000 RPM. Still same story. No drone, you can barely even hear it, it's pretty much quiet. Let's bump it up to 73. This was a spot where there was just a little bit of resonance with the previous muffler that I had on here, the first Corsa muffler. And it's much better, and this exhaust only has about 100 miles on it, so it's probably bound to get a little bit quieter as time goes on and it breaks in a little bit. Let's bump it up to 75. You can hear it, you can hear there's a note, an exhaust note there, but it's not droning, it's not resonating through the cabin. It definitely sounds a lot better. And then in my old system, I didn't really ever hear anything over 75. The exhaust gets pretty quiet up at that speed. This is what I like to call loud mode with the seats down. You just get that much more enjoyment. Of course, just as I start filming, it starts sleeting. That's all right. Figured I'd test out the brakes a little bit too. Haven't really driven on these much. Car just feels awesome now. I'm just going to put a little bit of heat into the brakes, lay some, transfer some pad material. Brakes feel pretty good. They've got a nice bite to them. feeling maybe just a little bit of fade, but they're holding up well. Pedal feels nice and firm. I have a ton of, one thing about these Cosworth pads is I have just a ton of feedback in the brake pedal. You can almost feel individual bumps. Yeah, these brakes do feel good. They have nice initial bite too, which is important, and cold bite. Yeah, they're getting a little soft feeling now. But they feel good. They smell nice too. Oh yeah, a little bit of burnt brake. Alright guys, well, with all those acceleration and brake tests, you've got an idea for what the Corsa exhaust sounds like. It's virtually quiet at cruising under 75 miles an hour. It's really just a great system. I've been very happy with it. I keep wanting to do headers, but then I know that that'll just totally mess up all the engineering that Corsa have put into this system. And yeah, it would sound good, it'd be louder, but I'm worried it just might throw things and just kind of throw off the balance that the car has right now. I love the way it sounds. I almost feel like I don't want to change it because I'm pretty happy with the way the car feels and sounds and goes right now, especially with these all-season tires and these lightweight BBS wheels. The car is just so quick with this setup. It's almost like it's got a tune on top of my tune. Check out the description for the mod list. You can kind of see everything that I've done to the car in there, but oh yeah. Ooh, we've got a Cayman up here. Still smell the brakes. Give them about 10 miles of highway cruising to fully cool down before I use them again. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. I'm going to wrap the video up there. I will see you next in Kentucky, or on the way to Kentucky. We're going to be having a lot of fun out there this week and driving some pretty cool roads, and this is actually the first time I'll be driving the BRZ out in Kentucky on some of my favorite roads ever. I've never taken the car out to that area. I've only been doing like track days and a few little back road stints here in Michigan with the car. So I'm really excited to see what it feels like out on some proper back roads. Should be fun. See you then. Take care. Thanks for watching, guys.